Okay, so we all know the story of Joseph, right? The coat, the jealous brothers, the whole thing. It's one of those stories you hear growing up. But what if I told you that the version we all know is just the surface level? That there's a whole other story hidden right there, between the lines? I mean, you can just feel the heartbreak in those words, can't you? That's Jacob, a father who's just been told his favorite son is gone forever. And for most of us, this is the tragic low point. But it's also the exact spot where a much, much deeper story really kicks off. So, is that all it is? A terrible story about family drama? Or is something else going on? Something hidden, just beneath the surface of the text? To find out, we need a guide. And our guide is none other than Rashi, an 11th century rabbi who was basically a master decoder. Think of him like a detective for the Bible. He had this incredible knack for spotting tiny clues everyone else just reads right over, and he turns this story we think we know into a full-blown thriller. All right, let's start at the scene of the crime. The first piece of evidence? The pit. The one Joseph's brothers toss him into. Seems pretty straightforward, right? But maybe not. The pit was empty. There was no water in it. Okay, sounds clear enough. Empty pit, got it. But hold on. This is where Rashi slams on the brakes. He asks this brilliant question. Wait a minute. If the pit was empty, why do you also need to tell me there was no water in it? Isn't that redundant? And for a guy like Rashi, there are no wasted words in the text. So if it's repeated, it's not a mistake, it's a clue. And this is just pure Rashi genius. He says, okay, the text is telling us what it didn't have, water. Fine. But by being so specific, it's hinting at what it did have. What's in a desert pit that isn't water? Oh, just, serpents and scorpions. All of a sudden, this empty pit is a death trap. And Joseph's survival? That's not just some lucky break. It's miracle number one. So Joseph surviving that snake pit was the first hidden miracle. But the plot thickens. The next clue pops up with the caravan that, what do you know, just happens to be passing by at the exact right moment. And again, Rashi spots something amazing. Usually, caravans back then were carrying really stinky stuff, like tar and oil. Not exactly a pleasant ride. But this caravan? Nope. It's loaded with fragrant spices. Why would the text bother telling us that? Rashi says it's another one of those quiet miracles. God didn't just save Joseph, he made sure the righteous guy wouldn't even have to put up with a bad smell on his trip. It's all in the details. Okay, so while all this divine stuff is happening in the background, let's not forget the very human drama playing out. The brothers, they need an alibi, and the one they cook up is just brutal. They lay out the steps for the perfect crime, and Rashi, of course, adds this chilling little detail. Why a goat? Because goat's blood looks a lot like human blood. They were making sure their lie was as believable and as cruel as possible. Just listen to how they phrase this. So cold, so calculated. They don't say, "Dad, we found Joseph's coat." No, they hold it out and say, "We found this. Is it your son's?" They're putting the whole terrible discovery on him. It's just, wow. And as you can imagine, this just sends their father, Jacob, into a complete tailspin of grief. But again, Rashi looks closer and tells us this isn't just normal sadness. There's something unique about this grief, and it's actually packed with clues about what's coming next. So Jacob cries out, "An evil beast hath eaten him." And Rashi says, right there, in that moment of pure agony, a spark of prophecy lit up. Jacob had no idea, but he was actually predicting the future. Joseph would face another kind of evil beast, the wife of Potiphar in Egypt who tries to seduce him. But this brings up a huge question, right? Why didn't anyone spill the beans? I mean, Jacob's own father, Isaac, was still around. Well, Rashi uncovers this incredible secret pact. The brothers made an oath and cursed anyone who ever revealed the truth. And get this, they actually included God in their deal. So Rashi explains God himself was bound by this oath to stay silent. And if God was staying silent, Isaac wasn't about to break that silence either. A conspiracy of silence, literally on a cosmic level. And that explains why Jacob is just completely broken. The text says his family tried to comfort him, but he just wouldn't have it. It seems a little over the top, maybe. But nope, Rashi gives us this incredibly profound reason for it. This might be one of Rashi's most mind-blowing insights. He says there's a kind of spiritual rule in the universe. You can't truly accept comfort for someone you think is dead if they're actually still alive. So Jacob's refusal to be comforted wasn't just him being sad. It was a divine signal, a sign that Joseph was still out there. It's like his soul knew something, his mind didn't. So how long does this grief last? For 22 years. And if you've been paying attention, you know that in Rashi's world, a number like 22 is never just a number. It's a clue. It all comes back to this idea of measure for measure, divine justice. And Rashi lays out this absolutely stunning connection. For how many years was Jacob away from his parents, Isaac and Rebekah, not honoring them? You guessed it, 22 years. So his punishment, his consequence, was to spend that exact same amount of time mourning for his own lost son. It's perfect, almost poetic, cosmic justice. So, okay, let's pull back for a second. When you put all these clues together, what do you get? You realize that reading the story with Rashi is like watching it in 3D. He takes what looks like a simple, sad story about a dysfunctional family and shows us this whole hidden world of divine intervention underneath. Suddenly, it's not just a tragedy. It's a story filled with miracles, secret pacts, and this incredible sense of cosmic justice. What Rashi really does is he hands us a new pair of glasses. He teaches us to see that maybe nothing is random, that every little detail has a purpose, and that the things we do have consequences, these ripples that spread out in ways we can't even imagine. And really, this isn't just about one ancient story. Rashi's whole method is a masterclass in how to read, well, anything. It teaches us to stop just passively reading and to start interrogating the text. Ask questions, look for the weird parts, find that story hiding just out of sight. And that's really the question to leave you with, isn't it? If a story we all think we know, like Joseph and his coat, is this packed with hidden meanings? Just imagine what's hiding in the other stories we tell ourselves, the stories we think we know inside and out. What are we all missing?